this morning we are looking at the 4-hour chart here. We have made a valiant attempt at a recovery from the drop that we've had the last couple weeks, and it's possible that we are heading up. Not sure what to think at this point. You can see the last 2 days have been kind of flat, trickling up just a little bit, but still pretty flat. A lot of uncertainty as to where it's going. So the first order that I placed was a short because I see this wave pattern and it looks like we are heading down. We've hit a resistance level here, and so I thought probably the best thing to do would be to bet on it dropping a little bit. The MACD is not looking good for that kind of a trade, but the longer term charts are kind of showing that that is more of a possibility. So put in a stop order to kind of protect my trade. That would be a pretty big loss, about $300 loss there. But I think that's where I wouldn't want to be in if it went above that point. Okay. So it's not looking good until we got to that point. And now the MACD has crossed, and sometimes that is all it takes to let it drop again. And sure enough, we saw a big red candle bounced off of that support. And then we saw a great big red candle dropping, and it actually went below where I had gotten in. And I should have placed a stop order or lowered the stop order that I had in, I guess, at this point, but I didn't, and I just didn't react in time. I thought probably it was going to get down to the last trough that it had gotten to before, so I placed an order just one tick above that low, thinking it might drop to that point. It bounced just above it, and I did not react in time, didn't get out of that position. And it also kind of looked like perhaps it was going to drop a little bit further. So I held on to that. I didn't move my stop. I didn't move my limit order. And I kind of missed out on that opportunity. It went up and I got stopped out. So unfortunately, my first trade ended up not being that great, and I just didn't react in time. But that's okay. We can always recover. Not too worried about it yet. Went ahead and canceled that entry order there and tried it again. This time the MACD actually looks like it might be good. It's just turning over, and you can see on the 15-minute chart here, the MACD is still going up. It hasn't really shown any signs of losing momentum and dropping quite yet, but it's getting close, I would say. And also the 30-minute chart, pretty much the same thing. The RSI and the MACD, they're both pretty high on both of these. So I tried another short order here. And this time I did put in a stop order at one tick below where I'd gotten in to protect that trade. And put in an exit order in down here. And I got stopped out. So at least I didn't really lose anything on that trade. I'm still just trying to figure out what is going on in the market. Right now, there's 40 seconds left to the opening bell, so it's still moving kind of slow. So when it went up and it actually broke the highs that it had developed over here, I decided that probably going short was not the best way to go. It did look like it was gaining some upward momentum. The high here was higher than here, and it's forming higher highs and higher lows. So I got into a long position right there, and I put an exit order in at that Fibonacci line, which unfortunately is not drawn across there. You can see it on the longer term charts over here, but I figured probably it would head up to that point. And I got out just a couple ticks below that. Actually, I didn't wait till it got up to that point. When it started to hesitate, I went ahead and just got out because that was a pretty decent sized trade. And I got back all but $87 of the losses that I had made. So I'm whittling that back and making decent trades now. Okay, so I'm waiting for it to drop a little bit. And I thought, well, it might actually drop enough that I could trade on that. And the MACD is actually looking like it could do that well as well. So I'd put in a short order here, and I put in a stop order up here, and I thought it might drop down to this point. But again, I got stopped out. So that was not a good call, and it is verified. Yes, it is definitely going up. The bulls are winning just a little bit more this morning. So waiting for a drop so I can get in, and there we go. Oh, excuse me. I'm still in a short. So I did wait for a drop to get back some of those losses, and I'm trying to get out at a very, very small profit there. And it looks like I did. So I actually got back those losses. So, all right, cool. I actually waited that one out. I guess I must have canceled that stop that I had up there. All right, but this time I'm actually going to go into a long. We can see a bounce right through here. So the order that I put in here is a long position, and the MACD is looking really, really good. Waiting for it to go up. Kind of adjusted my screen a little bit, and you can see this blue line right here. If you go back in history to, looks like the end of July, you can see that it bounced off of that blue line a couple times. So now that is the very possible point that it will get up to today, if it is going to continue to go up. And there is also a Fibonacci line not too far above that, at 54.47. So somewhere in there, up in there, I think it'll probably go up there. So because I'm pretty certain that it's going up, I did not put a stop order in at this point. So it's dropping. I'm in a loss position here, but I'm pretty confident that it's going to go up at this point. And you can see it bounced, which is good. And it went up far enough that I kind of chickened out a little bit and got out. And I'm also sitting at a $212 profit so far right now. So, you know, that actually could be a decent stopping place for the day. It's almost what I like to make for a day. And I've already made 5 trades, and not all of them, most of them were not actually very good. So I'm contemplating stopping, trying to figure out if I should make another trade or not. Right now is not a good time to make a trade because the MACD is definitely dropping, and it looks like this is dropping, but I couldn't help myself. I did a short thinking that it could probably get down to this point, and I did put in a stop order just to protect myself, one tick below, so I wouldn't lose any money on this trade. And of course I got stopped out because you don't trade against the trend. So didn't really hurt me, but it didn't really buy anything either. And at this point I can see it's kind of bounced off the orange SMA, which is interesting. So I did a long order here. MACD is looking good. It went up quite a bit, and I got out here as soon as it started hesitating, and that was my last trade. I had made a little over $300 on the day, and so you can see my trades here. I made 6 trades altogether, and I'd say this was a good trading day. I did well. The first one was unfortunate, but at least I put in a stop and protected that from losing too much money. So not too bad.